Welcome to Stoic Share. This is where we explore profound and practical lessons from Stoic philosophy to create a balanced, peaceful life. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by anxiety, paralyzed by fear, unable to handle the pressures of modern life? Imagine being calm and collected in the face of challenges, transforming anxiety into a strength that propels you forward. Sounds impossible, right? The secret lies within your reach, revealed through Stoic philosophy, an approach that has guided great thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca. In today's video, we'll unveil strategies distilled from thousands of years of Stoic wisdom. I'll share simple, relatable yet highly effective lessons that help you conquer anxiety and lead a stronger, more purposeful life. Don't go anywhere, because just in the next few minutes, you'll uncover the key to changing how you face emotions and unseen fears. Stoic philosophy isn't about abstract theory. It's a life approach that empowers you to take control of your emotions, focus on what matters, and act with calmness and clarity. This video will provide practical, step-by-step guidance that you can apply immediately to feel a real difference in your thoughts and actions. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, share to spread this positive message to your loved ones. And of course, make sure to subscribe so you never miss more amazing content on Stoic Share. Thank you for being here. 1. Understanding the nature of anxiety and fear. Anxiety and fear are emotions that have accompanied humanity for thousands of years, rooted in our survival instincts. From a Stoic perspective, these feelings are not inherently negative. Instead, they are signals, alerting us to perceived threats or challenges. However, in the modern world, where dangers are often less physical and more psychological, these emotions can become overwhelming and negatively impact decision-making and quality of life. Why do anxiety and fear occur? The Stoics taught us to understand the mechanics of emotions rather than be controlled by them. Anxiety often arises from uncertainty about the future, fear of failure, loss, or even rejection. It stems from an overactive mind attempting to predict outcomes that are ultimately beyond our control. Fear, on the other hand, is an immediate response to perceived danger. In ancient times, this was vital for survival, helping our ancestors escape predators. Today, while the threats may have changed, our reaction remains the same, triggered by situations such as public speaking, financial instability, or social judgment. At its core, these emotions are fueled by our perception. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Anxiety is the anticipation of suffering before it happens, while fear is the emotional jolt we feel when facing the unknown. The challenge lies not in eliminating these emotions but in reframing how we perceive them. How do these emotions influence decision-making? When anxiety and fear dominate, they cloud our judgment, leading to decisions driven by emotional impulse rather than reason. For example, fear of failure may cause someone to avoid opportunities, while anxiety about the future may result in procrastination or overthinking. In Stoic philosophy, decisions are best made when emotions are balanced by logic and clarity. The Stoics emphasize the importance of distinguishing between what is within our control and what is not. Anxiety often stems from worrying about the uncontrollable, external events, opinions of others, or hypothetical scenarios. When fear drives us, it can lead to reactive decisions that prioritize short-term safety over long-term growth. Seneca noted, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." By focusing on the present moment and analyzing the reality of our fears, we reclaim our ability to act wisely. Stoic practices to understand and manage these emotions. Stoic philosophy provides practical tools for transforming our relationship with anxiety and fear. 1. Focus on what you can control. Begin by identifying whether your anxiety or fear stems from external factors outside your control. Once you accept that certain outcomes are not yours to decide, you'll find relief in focusing on actions within your power. 2. Reframe your perspective. Use reflection to question whether your fear is truly justified. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Often, you'll realize the threat is not as monumental as it feels. 3. Practice premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils. This Stoic exercise involves imagining the worst-case scenario to reduce fear of the unknown. Once you confront hypothetical outcomes, they lose their emotional grip on you. 4. Live in the present moment. Anxiety frequently stems from fixating on the future or rehashing the past. Cultivate mindfulness by grounding yourself in the now, whether through breathing exercises or focusing on immediate tasks. 5. Reflect daily. Spend a few minutes each day examining your thoughts and emotions. Journaling can help you understand patterns of anxiety or fear and address them calmly and rationally. Anxiety and fear are natural and universal, but they don't have to dominate your life. With the Stoic approach, these emotions are tools to understand your inner world and navigate external challenges. By aligning your actions with what is within your control and reframing your perspective, you'll regain clarity in decision-making and transform emotional overwhelm into growth and strength. Instead of being at odds with these emotions, let Stoic wisdom help you make peace with them. 2. Control and limits. One of the core teachings of Stoic philosophy is the distinction between what is within our control and what is beyond it. This simple yet profound principle has the power to reshape how we handle anxiety, fear, and uncertainty. Most of the distress we experience in life does not come from external events themselves, but rather from our perception and reaction to them. The Stoics remind us that the key to peace lies in focusing only on what we can influence and letting go of everything else. Understanding the sphere of control. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic thinkers, emphasized that there are two categories in life: things we have control over and things we do not. What can we control? Our thoughts, decisions, and actions. What lies beyond our control? Everything external, other people's opinions, past events, random circumstances, and even the future. Most anxiety and fear stem from trying to control the uncontrollable. For example, if you have an important presentation coming up, worrying about whether people will like it is futile because their reactions are not something you can control. However, preparing thoroughly, refining your message, and delivering it with confidence are entirely within your control. By shifting your focus, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and increase your ability to act effectively. How control affects anxiety and fear. Much of our suffering, according to the Stoics, comes from wishing reality were different than it is. When we attempt to control outcomes beyond our influence, we set ourselves up for frustration and disappointment. Seneca wisely stated, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Fear and anxiety flourish when we dwell on worst-case scenarios, many of which never actually come to pass. A practical way to apply this lesson is through self-reflection. When facing uncertainty, ask yourself, is this within my control? Can I take action to improve my situation? Am I worrying about an outcome I cannot influence? If the answer is that the situation is out of your hands, accept it and redirect your energy towards something productive. This shift in mindset does not mean ignoring problems, but rather focusing only on aspects you can meaningfully change. Letting go of the uncontrollable. Accepting that some things are beyond our control can feel unsettling at first, but in reality, it is liberating. Instead of wasting energy on things we cannot change, we can channel it toward actions that truly matter. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, encouraged people to view external events as indifferent, neither inherently good nor bad, because their significance comes from how we interpret them. Imagine being stuck in traffic. You can choose to grow frustrated, blaming slow drivers and bad luck, or you can recognize that traffic is beyond your control and decide to use the time to listen to an audiobook or practice deep breathing. The event itself does not cause stress, our reaction to it does. This philosophy can also be applied to relationships. You cannot control how others treat you, but you can control how you respond. Rather than dwelling on a rude comment from a coworker or an argument with a friend, focus on maintaining your own inner calm and acting with dignity. Stoic practices to strengthen self-control. To cultivate this mindset, try the following practices. 1. The dichotomy of control. Regularly remind yourself of what is within and beyond your control. This simple reflection can prevent unnecessary stress. 2. Negative visualization. The Stoics practiced imagining potential hardships to prepare themselves emotionally for challenges before they arise. This prevents panic and promotes resilience. 3. Mindfulness and present action. Stay grounded in the present moment, rather than obsessing over possible future outcomes. 4. Journaling. Write down daily moments when you focused on what you could control rather than worrying about external factors. Understanding control and limits is a game changer when it comes to managing anxiety and fear. When we focus only on what we can change and accept what we cannot, we gain emotional freedom. Instead of resisting life's uncertainties, embrace them with a Stoic mindset. By practicing this principle, you will feel lighter, clearer, and more empowered in daily life. 3. Living fully in the present. One of the most powerful ways to overcome anxiety and fear is by fully embracing the present moment. The Stoics understood that much of human suffering comes from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, two things entirely outside our control. By grounding ourselves in the present, we free our minds from unnecessary distress and reclaim the ability to act with clarity and purpose. Why do we struggle to stay present? Our minds are naturally inclined to wander. We replay past mistakes, reliving embarrassment or regret. We fast forward into the future, anticipating worst-case scenarios that may never happen. This habit fuels anxiety and distracts us from reality. Instead of appreciating the moment we're in, we lose ourselves in thoughts that serve no constructive purpose. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote, "Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about your neighbors, unless with a view to some mutual benefit." This speaks to the tendency of humans to fixate on things outside their immediate experience, whether worrying about others' opinions, mourning past failures, or fearing unpredictable outcomes. The truth is, the present is the only thing we truly possess. The present is all we can control. Stoic philosophy teaches that our power lies in our ability to focus only on what is within our control. And what do we control? Our thoughts, decisions, and actions, right here, right now. Epictetus emphasized this idea when he said, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" Instead of delaying self-improvement or happiness for the future, the Stoics encourage us to cultivate both in the present moment. When we focus on what we can do now, rather than worrying about what might happen, we channel our energy into something productive and empowering. This shift in mindset can immediately reduce stress. The next time you find yourself overwhelmed with worry, stop and ask, "Am I thinking about something I can control right now? If not, can I shift my focus to my present actions?" By doing this, you train your mind to return to reality rather than getting lost in unnecessary fear or doubt. How living in the present helps with anxiety and fear. Anxiety is often a fear of the future, concerns about what might go wrong or how events may unfold. Fear, on the other hand, often comes from negative past experiences that shape how we see upcoming challenges. If we constantly relive failures or brace for disasters, we rob ourselves of the ability to experience life as it actually is, not just as our minds imagine it to be. Living in the present allows us to be objective instead of reactive. When you're fully engaged in the current moment, you can assess situations rationally rather than responding purely out of fear. Instead of drowning in anxious speculation about the future, you can take action based on reality. For example, let's say you have an important interview coming up. If you spend days worrying about every possible mistake you might make, you'll increase your anxiety without actually preparing for success. However, if you focus on the present, you can use that time wisely, researching the company, practicing answers, and calming your nerves with deep breathing. Stoic practices to cultivate presence. If staying present feels difficult, don't worry, it's a skill that can be developed. Here are some Stoic-inspired techniques to strengthen your ability to live in the moment. 1. Mindful breathing. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, take slow, deep breaths and focus only on the inhale and exhale. This helps anchor you in the present. 2. Single-task focus. Instead of multitasking, give your full attention to one activity at a time. Whether eating, working, or conversing, experience each moment without distractions. 3. Negative visualization. The Stoics practiced imagining potential hardships to reduce anxiety about them. Instead of fearing the worst, prepare for it rationally so it loses its emotional grip. 4. Daily reflection. Spend a few minutes each day journaling about moments when you felt present and identify areas where you can improve. 5. Gratitude practice. Recognizing what you have now, not longing for what you don't, keeps you grounded and content in the present. Living fully in the present is one of the most powerful ways to reclaim peace and clarity. When you train yourself to stop obsessing over the past or worrying about the future, anxiety and fear lose their grip on you. The Stoics knew that true strength lies in focusing on the moment at hand, acting wisely, and accepting life as it unfolds. Instead of resisting the flow of life, embrace it with presence and purpose, and you'll find that calm and confidence follow naturally. 4. Reflection and self-awareness. One of the most powerful practices in Stoic philosophy is self-reflection, the ability to step back and observe our thoughts and emotions objectively. Anxiety and fear often take root because we don't fully understand their origins or how they shape our behaviors. By making reflection a daily habit, we gain control over our emotions, leading to clearer thinking and better decision-making. Why reflection is crucial for managing fear and anxiety. Many people go through life reacting impulsively to emotions rather than understanding them. When fear arises, we may avoid challenges without questioning why we're afraid in the first place. Anxiety can creep in without us realizing how much it's affecting our thoughts and actions. Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, advised, "As long as we live, let us learn how to live." This is a reminder that growth comes from awareness. When we reflect on our emotions, we uncover hidden patterns and gain insight into how we can improve. Think about the last time anxiety or fear influenced a decision. Did it stop you from speaking up? Did it hold you back from an opportunity? By reflecting, you can pinpoint what caused the hesitation and how to overcome it next time. The Stoic approach to reflection. Stoics believe that self-examination is essential for living a virtuous and fulfilling life. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively in his private journal, analyzing his thoughts and emotions to ensure his actions aligned with reason and virtue. This practice isn't about dwelling on mistakes but rather learning from them to make better choices moving forward. Here's how reflection helps manage fear and anxiety. 1. It provides clarity. Instead of letting emotions control you, reflection helps you understand them rationally. 2. It separates reality from irrational fears. Anxiety often exaggerates potential threats. Reflection brings logic back into the picture. 3. It promotes self-improvement. By recognizing unhealthy thought patterns, you can replace them with more productive ones. How to implement daily reflection. The key to effective reflection is consistency. Here are some practical methods inspired by Stoic teachings. 1. End-of-day review. Spend a few minutes each evening asking yourself, "Oh, what triggered anxiety or fear today? Oh, how did I respond? Oh, what could I have done differently?" This habit, practiced by Stoics like Seneca, allows you to identify emotional patterns and work toward improvement. 2. Journaling. Write down your thoughts, fears, and experiences without judgment. Over time, you'll see progress in how you handle difficult emotions. 3. Questioning your fears. Whenever fear arises, ask, is this fear based on real danger or imagined worst-case scenarios? Many fears lose their power when examined objectively. 4. Premeditatio malorum. Negative visualization. The Stoics practiced imagining potential obstacles before they happened, so they could prepare emotionally instead of being caught off guard. 5. Focus on virtue. Instead of obsessing over things beyond your control, reflect on how you can act with wisdom and courage in any situation. The power of perspective shift. Often, fear and anxiety arise because we view challenges as threats rather than opportunities for growth. Reflection helps shift this perspective. Imagine failing a test. Anxious thoughts may convince you that you're not capable, but reflection allows you to see it as a learning experience rather than a personal failure. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. When anxiety strikes, reflection reminds us that our response matters more than the situation itself. Reflection is a powerful tool that transforms how we face fear and anxiety. Instead of reacting emotionally, we gain control by examining our thoughts with logic and wisdom. The Stoics knew that clarity comes through reflection, and by making it a daily practice, we strengthen our ability to act wisely and live with greater peace. Instead of being ruled by fear, take time each day to reflect, and you'll find yourself navigating life with confidence and resilience. 5. The power of action. One of the most overlooked solutions for overcoming anxiety and fear is simple: taking action. In Stoic philosophy, action is a central force that drives change, not only in external circumstances but within the mind itself. Fear thrives in hesitation, and anxiety grows stronger when we allow uncertainty to paralyze us. But when we move forward, even in small steps, we weaken their grip and regain control. Why does fear hold us back? Anxiety often stems from the unknown. We worry about failure, rejection, or not being good enough. Because we can't predict the future with certainty, our minds default to hesitation. Seneca noted, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." This means that most of our fears are exaggerated in our minds rather than based on actual threats. Consider how fear of failure might prevent someone from starting a new project, speaking in public, or pursuing a career change. The fear itself is rarely based on reality, it's based on imagined worst-case scenarios. However, when action is taken, reality often proves less intimidating than our exaggerated anxieties. How action dissolves anxiety. The Stoics believed that courage wasn't about being fearless, but about acting despite fear. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one." This principle reminds us that waiting until we feel ready or have no fear is a mistake. Action itself creates confidence and readiness. When you take action, several important things happen. 1. It interrupts overthinking. Anxiety often stems from excessive thought loops. Taking action forces your brain to shift from speculation to execution. 2. It redefines fear. When you confront the things you fear, you realize they are often less intimidating than expected. 3. It builds momentum. Each small action makes the next one easier. Success compounds, giving you the confidence to push further. Breaking the cycle of inaction. If you find yourself stuck due to anxiety or fear, the key is to take small, immediate steps rather than waiting for a grand solution. The Stoics encouraged breaking tasks down into manageable pieces rather than feeling overwhelmed by their entirety. Here's how you can start. Identify one small step you can take right now toward your goal. Even if it feels insignificant, movement is more important than perfection. Set time limits on reflection. Give yourself only a few minutes to think before acting. This prevents spiraling into excessive analysis. Detach from the outcome. Stoics remind us that we can control our actions, but not always the results. Focus on effort rather than guarantees. Stoic practices to build action-oriented thinking. To cultivate a mindset of action, consider these Stoic-inspired techniques. 1. The obstacle is the way. When fear arises, don't view it as a barrier, view it as a challenge to be overcome through action. 2. Progressive exposure. If something scares you, expose yourself to it gradually rather than avoiding it entirely. This builds resilience. 3. Pre-commitment strategy. Set firm commitments in advance so hesitation doesn't interfere. Tell yourself, "I will take action no matter how I feel." Fear fades when faced. Anxiety diminishes when we stop overthinking and take purposeful steps. Stoic philosophy teaches that action is the antidote to hesitation. Even in uncertainty, movement forward creates confidence, control, and peace of mind. Instead of waiting until the fear disappears, act despite it, and soon, you'll realize that courage is built through action, not before it. 6. Reason over emotion. One of the greatest strengths of Stoic philosophy is its emphasis on using reason to govern emotions. Anxiety and fear can cloud judgment, making decisions feel overwhelming. The Stoics teach that while emotions are natural, they should not dictate our actions. Instead, by practicing rational thinking and perspective, we can remain calm and make wise choices even in stressful situations. Why do emotions take control? Emotions often overpower reason because they are immediate, intense, and deeply ingrained in our survival instincts. Fear, for example, is meant to protect us from danger, but in the modern world, it frequently misfires. Instead of warning us about real threats, fear can exaggerate minor risks, causing unnecessary distress. Anxiety, similarly, arises from uncertainty about the future. Our minds attempt to predict negative outcomes, convincing us that we must prepare for every possible disaster. While caution is beneficial, excessive worry distorts reality and prevents rational thinking. The Stoics understood that most suffering comes not from actual events but from our interpretation of them. Seneca wisely noted, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This means that much of our fear exists in our thoughts rather than in the real world. By recognizing this, we can begin to shift our mindset from emotional panic to logical clarity. The Stoic strategy, using reason to overcome anxiety. Stoics believe that emotions should be acknowledged but never blindly followed. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, faced constant political turmoil and personal challenges. His ability to remain calm despite chaos came from his commitment to rational thinking. He frequently reminded himself, "What truly matters in this situation? Am I reacting emotionally, or am I assessing reality? Is this fear based on facts, or is it just my mind exaggerating uncertainty?" By regularly questioning emotions, we weaken their control. Instead of reacting impulsively, we respond with reason, reducing stress and improving decision-making. How to apply Stoic thinking in everyday life. Overcoming anxiety and fear through reason requires practice. Here are Stoic techniques to help you train your mind. 1. Step back and observe. When fear arises, instead of instantly reacting, pause and observe your thoughts as if you were an outsider. Ask yourself, is this feeling useful or harmful? 2. Shift perspective. When something feels overwhelming, zoom out and view the bigger picture. Ask, will this matter a month from now? A year from now? Most problems are temporary, and realizing this reduces their emotional grip. 3. Challenge irrational thoughts. Anxiety often exaggerates worst-case scenarios. When your mind starts racing with negative predictions, challenge them. Oh, what actual proof do I have that this will go wrong? Oh, have I successfully handled similar challenges before? 4. Focus on logic, not emotion. When making decisions, prioritize facts over feelings. If fear tells you to avoid a challenge, reason will remind you that growth comes from overcoming obstacles. 5. Control what you can, accept what you cannot. Many fears come from trying to control the uncontrollable. When faced with uncertainty, ask yourself, what can I do right now to improve this situation? If the answer is nothing, let go of the worry. The benefits of reason over emotion. When you train yourself to prioritize logic over reaction, several powerful changes occur. Reduced stress. You stop dwelling on imagined fears. Better decisions. You make choices based on reality, not panic. Greater confidence. You trust yourself to handle challenges with clarity. Marcus Aurelius encouraged people to make decisions as if they had already lived and seen everything. This means approaching life with wisdom, perspective, and emotional control rather than fear-driven reactions. Anxiety and fear thrive in uncertainty, but Stoic philosophy offers a solution: replace panic with reason. By analyzing emotions logically, questioning irrational fears, and focusing on what truly matters, we regain control. Instead of being overwhelmed by emotion, we act with clarity and purpose, leading to a calmer, more confident life. 7. Bringing Stoicism into everyday life. Understanding Stoic principles is valuable, but the real transformation happens when these ideas become part of our daily routines. Philosophy isn't meant to stay in books, it's meant to be lived. The ancient Stoics didn't just theorize about overcoming anxiety and fear, they practiced resilience, mindfulness, and self-discipline every single day. By integrating Stoic habits into your life, you can build a stronger mindset and develop emotional balance, no matter what challenges arise. Why small, daily practices matter. Change doesn't happen overnight. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who lived by Stoic principles, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This wisdom reminds us that lasting inner peace comes from consistent effort, training the mind just as an athlete trains the body. Imagine trying to overcome fear instantly or erase anxiety in a single day. It wouldn't work. But small, repeated actions, like focusing on what you can control, questioning irrational fears, and practicing gratitude, will gradually reshape how you think and react. Over time, these habits become second nature, helping you face challenges with calm and confidence. Practical Stoic habits to apply daily. If you want to build emotional resilience using Stoicism, here are powerful habits that will help. 1. Morning reflection. Start your day by mentally preparing for the challenges ahead. Ask yourself, what obstacles might arise today? How can I face them with patience and reason? By anticipating difficulties, you lessen their emotional impact when they actually happen. 2. The dichotomy of control exercise. Whenever you feel anxious, pause and ask, is this situation within my control? If not, let it go. If yes, take action instead of worrying about the outcome. 3. Negative visualization. Premeditatio malorum. Spend time imagining potential setbacks, not to obsess over negativity, but to be mentally prepared. By thinking through challenges before they happen, you decrease panic when they do arise. 4. Mindful breathing and presence. Anxiety often drags us into thoughts about the past or future. Train yourself to return to the present by focusing on deep, controlled breaths when stress surfaces. 5. Daily gratitude practice. The Stoics emphasized contentment, not chasing external validation. Instead of focusing on what's missing, list 3 things you're grateful for each day, big or small. 6. Evening self-review. Before bed, reflect on your actions. Marcus Aurelius would ask himself, did I act wisely today? Did I let emotions override reason? How can I improve tomorrow? This simple habit helps you grow daily. Overcoming resistance to change. One of the biggest obstacles in applying Stoic principles is habitual resistance, the mind's tendency to revert to old patterns. If you've spent years reacting impulsively to fear and anxiety, shifting toward rational thinking may feel unnatural at first. That's okay. Progress happens gradually, not perfectly. Instead of expecting instant mastery, focus on small wins. Catching yourself before spiraling into anxious thoughts. Choosing reason over reaction at least once per day. Noticing when emotions start controlling a decision and pausing before acting. Seneca reminded us, he who is brave is free. Freedom isn't just physical, it's mental. When you commit to daily Stoic habits, you free yourself from the emotional chains of anxiety and fear. Philosophy without action is useless. The real power of Stoicism lies in daily implementation, training your mind with small, consistent habits that build resilience over time. By reflecting each morning, questioning unnecessary worries, practicing mindfulness, and reviewing your growth daily, you'll develop emotional stability and a calmer, more confident approach to life. The challenge isn't avoiding anxiety and fear, it's learning to navigate them with wisdom. And with Stoic habits, you'll be better equipped to face anything that comes your way. 8. Real-life applications of Stoicism. Understanding Stoic philosophy is one thing, but applying it in real life is where its true value lies. Many people assume that philosophy is abstract or theoretical, but Stoicism was never meant to be a passive concept, it was designed to be practiced daily. Ancient Stoics didn't just discuss virtue, resilience, and reason, they lived it through their actions and decisions. By applying Stoicism to everyday challenges, we gain emotional control, overcome fear and anxiety, and cultivate a balanced mindset. Stoicism in everyday stressful situations. Stress, uncertainty, and setbacks are unavoidable in life. However, how we respond to these challenges determines our experience. A Stoic approach teaches us to pause, reflect, and take rational action rather than impulsively reacting based on emotion. Let's explore common situations where Stoic wisdom can be useful. Facing criticism or judgment. If someone insults you or criticizes your work, your instinct may be to respond defensively or feel hurt. But as Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The Stoic approach. Recognize that others' opinions are beyond your control. If criticism is constructive, use it for growth. If it's baseless, let it go. Your self-worth is not defined by someone else's words. Handling failure. Fear of failure holds many people back. But Stoics viewed failure as an opportunity, not a disaster. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Failure is a part of life. What matters is how you handle it." Instead of dwelling on mistakes, analyze what can be learned, make improvements, and move forward without emotional baggage. Dealing with uncertainty, whether it's financial worries, career changes, or personal challenges, uncertainty often leads to anxiety. Stoicism teaches us to embrace uncertainty rather than resist it. Since the future is unknown, worrying does nothing productive, only preparedness and rational decision-making can help. Overcoming anxiety and fear through Stoic application. Many people struggle with fear and anxiety because they feel powerless in the face of stress. But Stoicism reminds us that we always have control over our mindset, actions, and interpretations. Here are Stoic methods for confronting anxiety and fear in practical ways. 1. Premeditatio malorum, negative visualization. Prepare yourself mentally by imagining possible worst-case scenarios, not to dwell on negativity, but to train yourself to handle adversity calmly. This technique reduces fear of the unknown and enhances resilience. 2. Journaling and reflection. Many Stoic leaders, including Marcus Aurelius, wrote daily reflections on thoughts and actions. This habit allows you to track emotional patterns, adjust perspectives, and develop clarity in decision-making. 3. Applying the dichotomy of control. Whenever anxiety arises, ask yourself, is this situation within my control? If it is, take action. If not, accept it without frustration. 4. Detachment from external outcomes. Instead of obsessing over what could go wrong, shift focus to effort, preparation, and acceptance. A Stoic does not waste time fearing failure but instead directs energy toward doing their best in the present moment. Real-life examples of Stoic thinking in action. Many modern professionals, athletes, and leaders apply Stoic principles to enhance performance and well-being. Athletes use Stoicism to stay focused during high-pressure competitions, controlling their mindset rather than letting emotions affect their performance. Entrepreneurs embrace Stoic thinking to overcome fear of failure, adapting with resilience instead of panicking at setbacks. Everyday people implement Stoic habits in relationships, work, and personal growth by prioritizing logical reasoning and emotional discipline over reactive responses. Stoicism is not just a set of philosophical ideas, it's a way of thinking and acting that leads to greater peace, confidence, and emotional stability. By practicing Stoic techniques in daily situations, we train ourselves to approach life's uncertainties with reason, calmness, and resilience. Anxiety and fear no longer dictate decisions. Instead, rational thinking and purposeful action guide the way. When you actively apply Stoicism, life's challenges become stepping stones toward growth rather than obstacles to happiness. Conclusion. Throughout this journey, we've explored how Stoic philosophy provides practical solutions for overcoming anxiety and fear. The ancient Stoics understood a fundamental truth: we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond. This realization is powerful. It allows us to free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and approach life with greater calm and resilience. Fear and anxiety often arise when we resist uncertainty, obsess over outcomes beyond our control, or allow emotions to cloud our judgment. But by applying Stoic principles daily, we train ourselves to navigate challenges with clarity. Whether through reflection, rational thinking, or purposeful action, Stoicism offers a roadmap to mental strength and emotional balance. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. True peace is not found in a life free of difficulties, but in our ability to handle difficulties wisely. When we embrace this mindset, anxiety and fear no longer control us, they become stepping stones to self-growth. If you found value in this video, let's keep spreading the wisdom. Hit like, share this with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Stoic Share for more insights on mastering your emotions and living with purpose. Thank you for being here. Now, go forward with strength and serenity.